Start over.
What about Keith?
Keith.
Keith was a cuddler. He loved to just cuddle. And he, well, I nursed him, but I ran out of milk, and it was because I had tumors on both my ovaries.
What?
And so when I did that, I had to have surgery because they were the kind that would rupture and I'd bleed to death.
They were not cancerous.
They weren't cancerous, but they were.
Dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And they thought it was one big one, but it was one on each of them. And so I didn't get to nurse him very long. So he had a bottle and he didn't want to ever give up his bottle, and finally I said, Keith, I'm going to go throw it to the dogs and you're not having this bottle anymore. He was probably almost 2, walking around with a bottle. And I threw it out in the yard and he just stood there and went, But then he was fine. Didn't ask for another bottle. Charles, he was very determined to nurse. He nursed for a year and a half. He was 18 months old. And we were at BYU and we were trying to wean him. And the problem was if I heard him crying, then my milk would come in and make me sore if I didn't nurse him. So I had to plug my ears and leave the room and everything. Well, he'd get so mad that he'd turn blue and hold his breath. He was a very determined little kid.
Yeah.
So Keith was fun. I wrote down things in my diary about him because he had a cute humor.
Yeah, I remember reading his homework. It was hilarious.
It was hilarious. But before he went to school, he'd say, I want to have a bowl of cereal like Grandpa. Because my dad would make a piece of toast, put butter and jam on it, put it in the bowl, and then pour his oatmeal over the top of that, and milk and sugar, and eat it. And he thought that was the best. He wanted that. So I made him, I says, I'll make you oatmeal, but I'm not going to put the toast in the bottom. So he was fine with that. But he'd say, we didn't say a long enough prayer, Mom. It's still hot. So he'd fold his arms and say another prayer.
That's so cute.
Sometimes he'd say 3 prayers before he could
Eat.
It was cool enough for him to eat.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. The other thing, I think I've told you recently about this, about him. Back in the day, when having holes in your jeans was not cool, it was for pretty low-class people that had to wear jeans with holes in them. So I had a pair that he had worn out, and I was going to make him into shorts or fix them, whatever. And he always pulled them out instead of wearing the ones that were good.
Right.
And so I said, Keith, why do you always want to wear these jeans that holes in their knees? He says, well, Mom, my knees got to know where they're going.
It's so cute.
So anyway, he was cute, had a cute sense of humor, and school wasn't easy for him too much. It was hard for him until he got back from his mission and got into classes that he really enjoyed taking. And once he got into those, he just flew. He loved it. When he loved something, he really put his mind to it and did great. But he would have been a great writer. He made up the funniest stories.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Yeah.
He was a natural athletic kid, but he didn't like to compete. And when he'd play on the boys' church basketball team, which they loved because he was awesome, he'd go in the bathroom, and for the championship game, he'd have a headache and probably a migraine. And he was throwing up, and my dad had said, "What's going on, Keith?" And he'd say, not his, my dad, Ron, "What's going on?" He says, "I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. It's too much pressure. I don't like it."
I thought he did that when he played tennis.
No, he did that when he was playing basketball. at
Yeah,
the
but like when
church.
he went to like state for tennis or something.
Yeah, he might have at that too, but he's not competitive that way.
Well, it's just too
Yeah,
much
too
stress.
Although he did go to St. George, and he and his friend came in, got the gold medal for
Volleyball.
volleyball,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he didn't. Charles practiced and practiced and practiced to be on the school basketball team, and they didn't even look at him. They just chose boys from the football team, and he was so depressed about it. Charles loved to play, and he was very competitive, but Keith was a natural that way, and he got on the basketball team, the junior high basketball team, and he lasted a week, and he says, "I can't do it."
Oh.
He just wouldn't do it. I says, "Yeah, Rochelle's that way. She wouldn't run." She was a runner. She could have run past all these kids, and she didn't want to do
No, it would have made me throw up too.
it. So, Keith and Rochelle not competitive. Teresa and Charles were.
That's true.